So we're getting close to the magic moment where we publish this agent. But before we do, one more sanity check. Before you hit publish, you should go through this checklist. Did you update the README? If you saw this README for the first time, would you be able to say what the agent does? Is there a complete description of how the agent behaves, a complete description of the alerts that are emitted by it? Is it concise? You know, we don't need a novel. We just need something that explains what it does and no more. If it's a private agent, we're basically going to redact all of that information from the README because we don't want prying eyes to know what this agent is doing. But we will make this private README. That's our recommendation. And we'll leave that out of the Docker image. We won't copy that in to the image when we create it in the Docker file. But this will be a reference for the protocol to see, okay, what is this doing? They still need to have that kind of map of what this agent does. You need to know who's going to maintain it. So it could be you. You could be the one, excuse me, you could be the one publishing the agent and then also maintaining it. Or it may be that you hand it off to the protocol and the protocol says, well, thanks, we'll go ahead and publish it and we'll do the maintenance from here on out. So communicate clearly, make sure you know what's expected of you and of the protocol that you're working with. And then I think this is the third or fourth time I've mentioned it now, but you get the idea of the importance of these steps. npm start is what you're going to run your agent and see, is it running? You know, hopefully it doesn't crash. Hopefully it emits the appropriate alerts. npm test is running against your tests, your unit tests. They should all pass. Go ahead and build your image. You're going to have to anyway before you can publish it, and then run it. You know, make sure it's running. If you have the capability to log into your running container and see that the process is still running, do that as well. Like this is the last step before you kind of release your baby out into the world. So make sure that you do your due diligence here. And now the magic moment, as I said, we're going to publish. The Forta documentation is really good on this point. There are kind of two sets of instructions mainly on how to do the publishing. You can do it through the command line interface or CLI. You can also do it through Forta Connect. We highly recommend Forta Connect. It is very streamlined. It's almost just as easy as the click of a button. It's fantastic. We highly recommend it. We've got a few points here, a few reminders. It seems like it might be pretty straightforward, but make sure that you're submitting the correct Docker image. Okay, so just do your double check. It should be this. Okay, that's what I'm submitting. Please provide your repository URL. You know, it's a lot easier for somebody to look at your code, see what it's doing, provide scrutiny, maybe even find a bug. If your code is just out there and available in the repository versus trying to pull down your image and dig into it. Okay, so always, always, always provide your repository URL. And the correct Docker image. I put this last point on here for those of you doing TypeScript. TypeScript is naturally going to use the transpiler to turn it into JavaScript. That JavaScript is not really fit for human consumption. So if you are a TypeScript guru or a TypeScript programmer, consider just copying that into your image so that if somebody goes that route, they can look at your image, they can dig in and they can see the original TypeScript code and have a prayer really of determining how the thing is supposed to operate. I've provided some links down here for the documentation. It's very good. It really, really helps you out here. And then Forta Connect as well, which we recommend.